Have you ever thought about quitting your day job and think, hey, I should start my own business and run a funeral home?
I've thought very similar things, but I've never thought that I should run a funeral home. It's always been my dream to quit my job and start my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. More like a mad engineer, not so much an entrepreneur.
Well, what better business to go into than the funeral home business, because there's always going to be dead people, right?
I mean, yeah, people are always going to die. That's a very good point.
Hey guys, this is Brex.
And I'm Crypto Spook.
And today we're looking at a game called Undertakers, and it does let you do just that. You own your own funeral home, and this is a business simulator, so you are in charge of every aspect of running said business. And I'm not gonna lie, I failed for the first 30 to 45 minutes before I figured out how to run the menus.
So how much time is that in game that you were a failure? How long was your business in the red?
Oh, I went bankrupt within 3 years, I think.
Well, all right. I guess you were just trying to provide a valuable service?
I guess so. I mean, what's interesting about it is when you start out, you are given some money and you need to make sure you have everything you need for when people come in to say, hey, someone that I know died, I need you to bury them. So I started out by buying stuff like shoe cartons, which is a terrible thing to bury something in, right? I hope it was pets, not actual human beings.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's not so bad. That's good. That's at least very biodegradable.
I guess so. So I started out with the cheap stuff like wooden crosses, shoe cartons, and maybe some daisies. But the thing about it is, as your business becomes more successful, you gain reputation, and more people come in to buy the cost of a funeral and everything that goes along with that. So they actually start requesting more expensive stuff, and that's why I failed the first time, because I was all out of red mahogany coffins or stone hedge, or whatever you call them, headstones, like the stone and the marble ones and all the good ones. I didn't have any in stock because I was ill prepared, and that's why I went bankrupt.
Oh, because people didn't want the crappy stuff. They wanted to give you more money than you were prepared to sell them.
Absolutely. And you can haggle with them. So if they come in, sometimes you won't know exactly what they want out of a funeral, but you can hire people, but it costs more money to do that. That will let you know, oh, this is exactly what this person wants. If not, you just get a question mark and have to guess sometimes. But it does let you haggle. So if they want something really cheap, I might could sell, how would I explain this? I might could sell them a funeral at cost and then try to tack on like 10% to make me profit.
That makes sense. That's not a bad way to run the business. Everybody's got to stay in money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very capitalistic. I enjoyed it a lot because I like business simulators. One thing that sucked about it, I didn't realize until later on in the game that you only have a certain amount of plots in your little graveyard before you have to buy more land, and that land is super expensive. And every little crappy funeral that I put on with a wooden cross and that's it, I was putting that in my graveyard, and I realize now you're supposed to put the nice headstones and stuff in the graveyard, not the crappy ones. So I messed up there too.
So like, you can't just like take down the grave markers and be like, nope, nobody's buried here.
Nope, I tried. I wanted to dig them back up and get rid of them. Oh, funny story. Once I ran out of room in my graveyard, this is where I went bankrupt the second time. I was doing it, man. I was successful. I was running everything well. I was making lots of money, increasing my reputation. I run out of plots in my graveyard, and then all of a sudden you just start, the only thing you can offer your customers is to throw them in like the dumpster. And then all of the people, all they say is, you want me to throw him in a dumpster? Are you crazy? And then your reputation goes down terribly bad, and because of that, I went bankrupt the second time as well. But I made it like 12 years the second time, so that's good.
Well, I guess that's good. I mean, yeah, you know, what do they care? I mean, what about cremation? Is that a possibility?
Nope, you can just throw them in the dumpster. That's it.
Wow, all
It
right.
sucked. I know. And I tried to go to the bank and take out a loan to buy more land for my plots in my graveyard, but I could not even take out a loan big enough to do it. So you need to really plan around the fact that you're going to have to expand your territory early in the game, or you'll end up like me, an absolute failure.
So the art style in this game is very interesting. It looks like it was almost entirely made in MS Paint, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's certainly quirky. It's a little bit strange.
Well, they wanted to sell this as like a business simulator of yesteryear, sort of like the things you would see in the 90s. That's kind of how they wanted to style it. So I think the art style might go along with that some. Very simplistic, but also really neat.
So did you enjoy the game?
I actually hated hated the game for the first 30 minutes, and then when I learned how to do everything, I really started to enjoy it. This is one of those games that I would love to play on a laptop. Like, just sit on my couch and like I'm watching TV, but I'm also playing a game. This would be a great game to do that because it's progress driven, and it's not like it's too hard. Like, you have to do a lot of thinking, but once you get in your zone, you're going to Costco, you're buying what you need, you're selling what you have, then you're going back and you're buying more, and you get into a cycle and you realize how this business runs. And I thought that was pretty cool. You can also buy like a florist shop, so I can start planting seeds, and that way I don't have to buy all of my flowers from the Costco anymore. I can grow my own. So there's lots of ways to grow and expand like that, and I think it's a super neat little game.
That's pretty cool. So are there like natural disasters that take place and like a sudden influx of dead people that you have to take care of, or is that just outside the scope of the game?
That didn't happen to me, but as far as people coming in like flux, once your reputation gets high, they're gonna come in like faster. So you really need to be able to manage your stuff appropriately and make sure, like, I need 3 types of every headstone, I need 3 types of every coffin, 3 types of every plant, and you have to make sure you have all of that in stock, or you're gonna fail, because there might be 5 people that come in within 3 hours once you get really popular and your reputation goes up.
So it's really just a big supply and demand sort of thing.
It really is. It's very, very supply and demandy. The good news is with the warehouses, when you do keep stuff in stock, you can expand your warehouse. You have to pay money for it, but you can expand your warehouse to hold like 3 times the amount of stuff that it does at the beginning of the game. And like I said earlier, being able to have your own shops where you can grow and produce your own raw materials is key to success in the end game.
This kind of seems like it would be good as a cell phone game.
Sort of. I could see that. I think the UI would need a little tweaking to make it work on a cell phone, but I definitely think it could be. You would just click on the businesses you need, go in there and click on the items you need. So yeah, it could be a really cool mobile game, I think.
Yeah, well, your comment about sitting on the couch and playing it makes it, to me, seem like that's exactly what this is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. I just think it's one of those games that can be really addictive because it doesn't require all of your brain power. You can do this while you're watching Game of Thrones or whatever, you know?
So how much did this game cost?
$9.99, and I think that's a fair price for it because of the replayability. This is something that you can put a few hours into.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I mean, business simulators are generally like that. I enjoy business simulators. It seems like you also have the ability to change the time scale so you can make time go faster or slower, so you can manage things better or worse depending on how you want to play the game. Would you buy it at that price, at $10?
I would recommend you try to find it on a sale for $5, but if you like business simulators and you're into this sort of game, then you'll probably get enough time out of it to justify the $10, because say if you spend 5 hours in this game, well, you're looking at $2 an hour. I don't think that's unfair.
That's a good point.
And for me, you just mentioned the time thing. That is ran so well, and that's why I enjoyed the game so much. You can just max out time to run at like 10 speed, but the good news is whenever a new customer comes into your business, it automatically turns it back to 1 to give you time to say, oh, hold on, because the longer that customer's in there, the more upset they become. So the time aspect of it is ran really well.
That's good. That's exactly the way it should be. It shouldn't always be at cheetah speed and then trying to drop down to tortoise, if you get that reference.
I don't quite get that reference.
That's The Sims. I'm just old. That's all that is.
No, I played The Sims some when I was a kid. Just never really fell in love with it. But honestly, I would recommend this for $10 if you love business simulators. If it just looks neat to you, then wait till it goes on sale and pick it up then. If you're interested, be sure to check it out on Steam. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch another one of those videos in your face right now. This has been Brax.
And Crypto Spook.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.